E-mountain bikes. Love them or hate them, they have arrived. They're in trail centres the length of the country and they're waiting to pounce in bike shops, hoping to tempt unsuspecting punters into the delights of power-assisted riding. By the way, if you're wondering about my surroundings, we've got a brand new studio. The brick backdrop, wall, is being lovingly deconstructed brick by brick so it can be transported here and rebuilt in its original form. Anyway, back to e-mountain bikes and why I love them so very, very much. There is Kool-Aid and I have drunk it. First of all, e-mountain bikes are incredibly time efficient. I don't have a lot of time to ride, and if it's a choice between putting my normal mountain bike without a motor in a car or on a car and changing my shoes and driving to a trail centre or riding out of my door on an e-mountain bike, I'm going to choose the e-mountain bike. I'm lucky enough that I live about half an hour from a trail centre by car, but it's a fairly pleasant ride on a bike that's assisted because riding knobbly tyres when you can do 15.5 miles an hour everywhere is actually fine, and I don't have to waste a lot of energy getting there because of the motor. On the e-mountain bike, I will get very quickly to the trails and I might do 5 or 6 laps of a favourite bit, whereas if I did the same ride on a regular bike, I'd use loads of energy getting to the trails and at most I'd probably do 1 or 2 laps. So that's 3 times as much fun stuff on the e-mountain bike. Point number 2, skills. For much the same reasons, an e-mountain bike is a really good way to work on skills. I am not good at mountain biking. I didn't grow up mountain biking and I came to road cycling first when I got seriously into riding, and so mountain biking kind of came along afterwards because all bikes are cool. On an e-mountain bike, I can get all those extra laps in riding and I'm not ruining myself riding uphill, so I can concentrate on skills coming downhill. More riding equals more skills, and less energy burnt up riding uphill means that I'm fresher for those descents so that I can focus on doing my best coming downhill. Point number 3, I take risks on new routes when I'm riding an e-mountain bike. I don't spend a lot of time poring over maps and I'm not very good at knowing where stuff is. I don't find that side of it particularly interesting, I just want to ride my bike. On a regular bike, that means I tend to stick to tried and tested routes because I'm not going to end up wasting a lot of time or energy if, for example, I ride down a descent and then it doesn't lead anywhere. On an e-mountain bike, there's much less jeopardy. If I go the wrong way, it doesn't matter, I'll simply ride out. That means that I'm much more inclined to explore, and as a result, I've discovered lots of new trails riding an e-mountain bike that otherwise I'd probably never have happened upon. Point number 4. This is a very personal one, but e-mountain bikes are better for my body. Not because I do less work, but because when you're climbing on a regular mountain bike, there's a lot of high torque, low speed climbing. Despite my tender age, I have a pretty rubbish back. An e-mountain bike gives me a huge chunk of torque and makes getting up the climbs very easy, for want of a better word. Doesn't mean that you don't work hard, but you can choose to work hard aerobically without necessarily knackering your muscles or putting too much strain on your lower back. Pretty well all e-bikes let you choose how much assistance you want, so if you turn down the level, you can work really, really hard if you want to, but not having to is a huge boon for somebody like me. Point number 5, this is barely even a point, is simply I think all bikes are good bikes and I think that e-mountain bikes are bicycles. Slightly controversial point, some people call them motorbikes, but you have to pedal to make them go, and legally, in the UK at least, they are classed as bicycles. Now, I know that in some parts of the world, trail access is a really hot topic when it comes to e-bikes, and that people are worried about losing trail access because of some people riding e-bikes on their trails. That's a huge issue and I'm not going to diminish that. However, it doesn't apply where I ride. Being a big fan of e-mountain bikes doesn't mean that I don't like regular mountain bikes. I still think they are very, very cool. However, for the relatively limited riding that I do, an e-mountain bike makes more sense overall. And I see more e-mountain biking in my future than I do regular unpowered mountain biking. Now, e-bikes are still pretty expensive if you want a good one, but I happen to think that the spec of your e-bike might be slightly less critical than it is for a conventional mountain bike. That's because on a regular mountain bike you're probably much more worried about weight, because that is a big determining factor in how easy it is to climb hills. A £4,000 e-mountain bike is going to have a much lower spec than a £4,000 regular mountain bike, but since much of that money on the regular mountain bike goes into making it lighter, and weight doesn't really matter when you've got a motor to help you, the £4,000 e-bike is just as good for practical purposes. Specs still matter, but weight is not the whole story when it comes to performance, and it's much less important when it comes to e-bikes. I am not troubled by any notions of purism when it comes to riding. I didn't grow up as a mountain biker, and I think maybe that's why I'm just not that bothered whether, in the eyes of a traditional mountain biker, an e-bike counts. The fact is, I'm having more fun overall than I did riding a conventional mountain bike, and for that reason, I love e-mountain bikes. Fight me. I'm very lucky. I get to try out lots of different bikes without having to commit to them financially. But if I were spending my own money and looking to maximise my fun mountain biking, I'd be shopping for an e-mountain bike now, not a regular one. As ever, let us know what you think about e-mountain bikes in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and please click that little bell so that you get notified about all of our videos.